Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is your host, Viola Edward, with your program, The Feminine Capital Rhythm. I'm today in London, heading tomorrow to Amsterdam, and was invited to dinner for third time now by my new friend, but seems like a very old friend, Iman Soraya. She studied psychology. She's a real estate agent. She's Afghan Iranian living in London. Her passion is to do humanitarian works. She helped her family member in an orphanage in Afghanistan. And she is an excellent cook, and she's young, and she's beautiful, and she's a very, very loving friend, my new friend. So for your W.O.R.K.S World radio station, and this is Viola Edward, your host for tonight. Here we are with Iman Soraya. Hello.
Hi.
So tell us, what is this about your humanitarian work?
From a very young age, my mother, as she was a refugee herself, used to take us to Pakistan, where all the Afghan refugees had moved, and we would go work in refugee camps.
How old were you?
The first time I was 6 years old.
Wow.
So we would go and do this for 4 months every year, help open schools, promote female education because the Taliban period had started, so education for women was not allowed. So she opened schools, clinics, helped with housing for refugees, and she did this for many, many years until we went back to Afghanistan.
Until you were allowed to go
Yeah.
back. Yeah. And then?
So we went back in 2002, and she worked alongside the government, helping fund government orphanages. But obviously, because of the corruption, she decided to open her own orphanage. So her orphanage is like based on the system of the SOS Children's Villages. So right now there are over 200 orphans in her orphanage. And it's a system where there are houses. So every house has 10 orphans and the widow as the mother figure. And the widows are all trained to look after the children. So this is what she's doing now. And it's a beautiful system and they're very happy. And hopefully in the future, up to 1,000 children can be.
Oh my God, that's so
Yeah.
nice. Would you like to copy this model for other countries?
So they have it in Pakistan and in Jordan, and it works very well. So I would like to open more around Afghanistan in the future if possible.
I would love to help you.
You should come.
I will.
Yeah.
I will.
When I was 20, I went and I lived there for a year and I found a mental ward, an abandoned mental ward for women. And I ended up working there for a year, trying to, raise awareness for mental health. But it's such a taboo there that no one wanted to help and everyone kept shutting their doors, basically. But in the end, we managed to do a lot of good work and they're very happy now.
But I understand that was a very tough work for a psychologist just graduated.
It was actually, I studied psychology after that.
Really?
That's why I went to study it, because after I left, when I turned 21 and I came back, I decided that I needed to study something which I could help them with. We don't have psychologists in Afghanistan.
Really? Why is that? It's forbidden?
It's just, well, there are not many educated people there. And if they are, they're mainly in politics or finance, so they've come back to do business or work in government positions. It's not very often that you find somebody who's studied psychology or so I decided to go back and study because it's the only way I could think to further help them.
Where did you study?
In London. So I was doing a joint degree at UCL and Birkbeck University.
And what did you study? Psychology? What
General psychology.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. For that, we like each other so much.
Yeah. So then I went back after that to help my mom with her orphanage and also to go back and work again at the mental ward. And now I'm between Afghanistan and London.
And tell me about your work then as a real estate consultant.
So my father, when he left Iran during when the revolution happened, and he moved to London, they obviously lost everything, like a lot of the families from the Shah's time. So he came and he got into real estate. I guess it was the easiest thing for him to do at the time. So when I was younger, I used to see him all the time working with properties, going and renovating properties, and I liked it. I liked walking into a place and imagining what I could make of it because I'm very creative. So I enjoyed that. So when I moved back to London last year, I thought it's kind of second nature to me, so maybe this is what I should do.
Mm-hmm. So isn't that fantastic when we know that there is so many people fighting with what their parents doing and they want to do something different, and there's other people who get inspired by their parent and actually they study or they do things that they saw since they were children, and we have so much knowledge about that. You know, I remember my mom used to do sewing and she will try to teach me and I would say, oh, always fighting, like no way. And later on in life, like even without learning, I have seen her so much doing that, that even when I don't know how to do like clothes, but yeah, you know, like fixing,
Yeah.
cutting, matching, patching, and it's like in my system, you know. Yeah, it's fantastic.
I think my mom always said to me, some people are put on this earth to make a difference. And it comes so naturally to some people. And I feel it comes very naturally to me. So she says it's your duty to use that difference, even if it's to make one person's life better. So
I agree totally with your
yeah.
mom. And you know, in these Radio Works words, this is our main like feeling is how we can make the difference. And this program was created by Marina Nani, and her story is very interesting. Also, we should talk about it in some moment, or you should go to the web and read about it. But basically, it's how important, how much we can do a difference in other people's life when we talk about our own
Yeah.
life. So we're gonna have an event. I'm coming back in December to
Okay,
London.
great.
I would love it if you can
Of
come because we
course.
have an event in BAFTA or Author Awards, and where also people they get encouraged to write, they can get encouraged to talk, and hopefully you'll be there also.
Yes,
Yes.
for sure. I would love to.
Yes. So tell me, is by the way for those who are listening to us, is the 21 and 22 in London, the BAFTA Authors Awards, and but I also tonight when I was enjoying the dinner you cook. And I remember the story you tell us. Why do you cook with such a joy? How is it that you learned how to cook?
I love cooking. I love watching the enjoyment on people's faces when they eat what I've created. Um, I enjoyed cooking from a very young age. I
What
was
is young age?
maybe like 10, 11.
Wow.
I always used to sit in the kitchen and watch my mom or watch the cooks cook. And, it really fascinated me how putting two or three things together can create something so nice. And for me, cooking is very much a sensual thing. I don't know how to follow a recipe. I have to feel and taste, and that's how I create my food. And I really enjoy it. It gives me peace of mind. It's very
Yeah, you're
strange.
very good. You're very
Yeah.
good. You're very good in how to choose the element to cook and the way how you enjoy cooking and the way how you give order in the kitchen. So people follow you, and I can see your face also when you're serving us. Very generous, very nice.
Makes me happy. And I enjoy having a meal with close friends and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So tell me more. Tell me then, if I tell you, if we're gonna meet 5 years from here in the street of London or some other place in the world, and we greet each other and we say, "How are you? What's had happened in your life? How life is? What do you think is gonna be there? The story you're gonna tell me."
That I opened a restaurant
Uh-huh.
and I'm happily married and hopefully I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
um, yeah, hopefully I would have found somebody to settle with.
Yes.
and open my restaurant. I've always wanted to open a restaurant.
Yes.
So hopefully in the next 5 years, that's one of my goals.
Mm-hmm. And what about the work in Afghanistan and all this orphanage
So
and the work?
I'm going back. Actually, on Saturday, I'm leaving. So I'll go back and see the children in the orphanage and spend some time with them. Go visit the women in the mental ward.
And can I tell you what I also see? That you are writing about all these things you're doing.
I should write about it.
I think you should write about
Okay, I'll
it.
write about it.
Yeah. Can you imagine something related to all that, what you're doing? So I'm going to encourage you for that.
Okay, I'll do that.
So maybe next interview we're doing with Iman is about the book she's writing.
Maybe. You never know.
So tell me, you're a beautiful woman, young, beautiful, talented. What will be your advice for the women who are listening to you now?
I think honestly, you have to learn, first of all, to love yourself and believe in yourself. It's the most important thing. Your happiness is totally in your control and nobody else's. I think I spent a lot of time in the previous years placing my self-worth on other people, and I was never happy. And finally, I learned how to accept my flaws and love my flaws and love myself and, do what I really want to do in life, not what's expected of me. And it's scary. Sometimes you feel like you're alone or you've upset someone, but it's very important to just go through it because things will always get better. And no matter how hard they are, they will get easier. So one should always believe in themselves and just do whatever makes you happy in life because it's too short. And if you don't make yourself happy, no one else will.
So wise. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for taking time. We are at a dinner party and we took the time. We get inspired talking and we took the time so we can do this interview. And this is the way how you see also the adventurous, courageous people when you invite them to an interview and they say, yes, let's go for it. It's not like they do it every day, but they are just ready for the new
It's you. You
experience.
make people comfortable. That's why. I'm a
Mm.
very shy person, but no, it's you. You make people
Well,
comfortable.
you see how beautiful this interview come
Yeah.
out, and we learn much more about you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're gonna inspire so many people.
I hope so.
I promise you that we're gonna do again. We're gonna be again with Iman, talking about so many other things. Maybe some recipes, maybe some more
Oh, we
adventure.
should do a cooking channel.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do something about cooking. Here is Viola Edwards, your host from the Feminine Capital Rhythm. Good night, good morning, or good evening. And that was a pleasure to be with you at this time.